I want to let the fans know that
The fans know to that. Yes.
we're going to let the fans know that the Wet Fete or a Wet Fete will be a part of Culturama 50.
You get 2 applause the interview here. Wow. So unequivocally, there will be.
There will be. There are several private promoters that are already, they want to do it.
They're grabbing it from us.
And we also want to do it because we want to protect Wazim's legacy.
No, wait. I want to get this point straight, you know. I'm going to take out my glasses so you hear good what I'm saying. There's a declaration that the credit for the long jam should be to the core. Now you're saying the credit for the long jam is to
the Casanova band. In 1987, I became a member of the Casanova band. In 1989, we decided we are going to take Casanova from Gingerland to Charlestown. We started in front of, and at that time, in 1989, my dad recently passed. So my dad was the owner of that shop that Clark now owns. And we started right in front of that shop, my dad's shop, at 5 o'clock in the morning. By 10 o'clock, we were passing the courthouse in Charlestown. And we had a mammoth crowd behind us.
Yeah.
Casanova fell off, Core came, and you know, they continued the legacy of the long jam. And I must give credit to them for keeping up the long jam. But Casanova must be credited.
Can you give me one artist that's on the international night? At least one.
Bunjigali and Felan, they will be on the international night.
Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of the Cultural Experience. This is probably a word some people would like to never hear again. But we are here again for another edition of the Cultural Experience. Another victim, some would say, you know. But today I'm here, I'm a little more sympathetic today, you know. Because it's Culturama 50 again. From August Day, from July
the 25th, August the 6th.
From July the 25th to August the 6th, I'm here to extend an invitation to all those abroad, everybody who is watching this, who have seen this. Culturama 50 is on its way. Now today, we're here with a guest, another victim. Again, I'll emphasize on the victim because it seems we're getting a lot of victims here. But we're here with Mr. Abonaty Liburd. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm well, Dema.
I know
it's good to be back on the Prospective Media show. I know that this is probably one of the most rated, highly rated media platforms. I was about to say the Federation of Singers and Divas, but I want to go wider. I feel this is really an international show, and you know it's always good to be on an international show with an international personality like you.
Don't try to flatter me, man. You try to flatter me. Like you look some extra sympathy today.
No, Dema. No.
All right, sir. So how's preparations coming for Culturama?
Preparations for Culturama 50. Actually, today we are what? We are 50 days away from the start of Culturama 50. So 50 days away from the start. And you know, things are looking good. Our venues, we are sprucing up our venues. Although there's a lot of talk out there about what is happening at our venues, but we suddenly need to spruce up our venues, especially since we are going to have a number of returning nationals from the diaspora, persons who have not been in Nevis for 35, 40, maybe 50 years. And for those who, you know, come annually, we want to offer them a true, authentic Nevision experience. And so we are sprucing up our venues to make sure that everybody have a nice, comforting experience when they visit the cultural village, the cultural complex, our shows. They could party, they could have some good entertainment in a safe and clean and comfortable environment.
Well, you started there. I mean, I didn't intend to start there, but you started hot. Look like you have your ears to the street, because school children are talking,
And school children do talk, eh?
Yes, school children do talk.
And when school children speak, we adults have to listen to them.
Allegedly. Or it's not even allegedly with this one. What the people are saying is that the village was recently renovated. Why now take on this extra expense to renovate the village again when Culturama is visibly lacking in other areas?
Well, the cultural village was refurbished in 2017. The Culturama village started, I think, anywhere around 1990. I think it's 1995 and 1996. And in 2017, we decided to demolish the entire structure and to build something good, because we were moving into a new era of entertainment in Nevis, and we wanted to, make the venue more secure and more inviting to persons to come and, enjoy. And so for the 50th anniversary, well, before we get into that, one of the major issues that we faced over the years, especially when we have performers coming from overseas, is that the stage, the performance area is too small. We have always...
Well, for me personally as a videographer, it's even too small for us. It's a difficulty for us.
And so, in the back of that performance stage area, we had 4 dress rooms, we had a bathroom, well, toilet facilities, we had an electrical room. And so we decided to take out the toilet facilities and the 4 dress rooms so that we could go right back. We could not take out the electrical room because that would have been too much digging and rewiring, and given the time that we had to do it, we did not want to disturb the electrical room. And so the electrical room remained, and so to even out, to make the stage look even, where we took out the bathroom from, we decided to put a little storage area. So the stage is now in much bigger stage. We can have the musicians further back, and then the performers have a much larger area to perform, and especially like a show like the Soca Monarch, which is held at the village. The artists can now bring more props on stage, more dancers, and for our international performers, we have a lot of backline, guitar rigs, bass rigs, keyboard rigs. Putting those on stage, even a stage mix, created some issues for us in the past. And so, we now have adequate space to have the drummer, say, pushed a little further to the back. We now have an option where we can have 2 drum sets, and after one band change to another band change, we could roll another drum set on stage and take off the one that the band previously used, that kind of thing. So it would make our life a little bit easier, and it would cut down on the changeover times if we have different bands performing.
But you still haven't addressed the point of why no, like it was recently renovated in 2017, you said, right?
Well, the vision was not there in 2017. And after we constructed the stage in 2017 and we encountered those problems, we decided that we needed to address it. Also, our performers over the years were complaining about the noise on stage coming from the reverberation from the roof. And so we have also raised the roof. And so we should, with this recent renovation, iron out that issue as well. And so there was a need. Yes, the venue was renovated or refurbished. I prefer to use the word refurbished in 2017. But we needed to do some fixes that we did not envisage would have created problems for us in 2017 when we refurbished the village. And so hopefully now those issues have been ironed out. Also, ever since when we constructed or reconstructed the village, there have been several requests for corporate boxes. And so we decided to make some corporate boxes available to our sponsors, our corporate, especially those who have been with us for the full 50 years, because there are some sponsors that are today sponsoring, like the TDC, they have been with us for the full 50 years of Culturama.
Right.
And so we wanted to offer them some corporate space where they could have, their good customers or whoever they choose to invite inside of their boxes to come up, wine and dine them. Now I must say this: the corporate boxes will not be given out to the sponsors free of cost. They would have to pay a rental fee, a seasonal rental fee for the use of those corporate boxes. So I think that a number of persons thinking, we are just building corporate boxes to give out to Tom, Dick and Harry free of cost. No, we are going to recoup the cost of, we cannot do it in 2024, but over time, we are hoping for the rental of these boxes to recoup the cost of construction.
The space is also bigger, and there is a concern that bigger space means more people is needed to fill these spaces, and there isn't much presented to the people as yet that can say in terms of promotion or something new that can potentially fill the village during event Culturama. What would you say to that?
Well, this year we have decided to bring back the International Artist Show as part of the Culturama 50 celebrations. For Culturama 25, we introduced, it was the first time that we had an international artist show. This year we are bringing back the International Artist Show. So that is expected to draw a number of persons there. We will be also beefing up the entertainment, the nightly entertainment at the Cultural Village after our shows, and on evenings when there is no show at the Cultural Complex, we will be having beefed up entertainment. We're going to have live bands performing at the Cultural Village. And so we are expecting that with the influx of persons from the diaspora, that we would have nightly we will have large crowds with the entertainment calendar. Once we release it, maybe in another 3-4 weeks, we will release that in sometime in June, and so persons can see what they can expect in terms of entertainment at the Cultural Village. We're also moving the Junior Calypso show that is going to be at the Cultural Village, and there are a number of other persons who are going to be doing fringe activities and are going to be renting the Cultural Village. And so we are hoping that these events at the Cultural Village will fill up the Cultural Village to some extent.
Well, we started a bit hot, and I don't really intend on being so hot all day or all series long. Who are you, Abba? Who are you to Culturama?
Well, who am I? Started my career with the Navy Island Administration as a teacher, a science teacher, an agricultural science teacher. I also taught biology, human and social biology at the Jindaland Secondary School. And I did that for some 16 years. I went off to study agriculture in Trinidad, came back, continued to teach at the Jindaland Secondary School. And then in 1998, when the Navy Island Administration was on the verge of celebrating Culturama 25 in 1999, they asked me to come to the Culturama Secretariat because they felt that I had some experience in organizing shows, because while teaching at the Jindaland Secondary School, I used to organize talent shows every year there. And I think for one of the anniversaries of the school, I organized a whole weekend of activities, a pageant and some other stuff. And so they probably saw the potential, the the potential in me to come to Culturama. And so I've been with Culturama. This is actually my 26th year with Culturama. And I don't know if anyone to come will last 26 years, because trust me, it's a lot of headache, a lot of sleepless nights. A lot of sleepless nights.
How is it you have seen Culturama evolve over the 26 years that you have been a part of it?
Well, we have seen some major changes. In terms of the entertainment, there were some things like I just spoke about, the introduction of the International Artist Show. That is one of the things that I brought to Culturama when I came in 1999. I also introduced this Soca Monarch because we did not have a Soca Monarch competition. I also separated the swimwear segment of the Miss Culture Queen pageant and created a separate swimwear contest to add an extra pageant to the calendar of activities. And also the Mr. Cool, I think it was somewhere in 2001 when the Mr. Cool contest was introduced to the calendar. We have seen, increase in the street activities. Juve is much bigger now. The parade is much bigger now. Over the years, we have offered some assistance. We have given some assistance to troops to do parade troops.
It has come to my attention that it's not even just troops or parade. Culturama has been babying Nevis Entertainment for quite a few years. In terms of paying the bands, like paying all the expenses for the bands to be on the road.
And that again is another thing that we have taken on as a committee over the years. People don't know that our bands that are on the road, Juve and Parade Day, we cover all of the expenses. We bring the trailers from St. Kitts, and there was one time when we used to bring tractors from St. Kitts. That too was a part of our expense. Nowadays, the bands don't have sound systems, and so we pay for the sound systems. Generators. We fuel the tractors.
Yeah.
We fuel the generators.
Right.
We 100% of the cost of the street activities, and then we still turn around and pay the bands. Although we put in all of that, we still turn around and pay the bands to perform on Juve Morning and to perform on Parade Day.
Why though?
Well, why we want to see, Culturama street activities over the years. We were not hyped, and so we wanted to ease some of the financial burdens of the bands and of the troops, because we give some troops financial assistance once they reach out to us. We give them. So we wanted to ease their burden, because Culturama is not about making money, man. I want to stress on this. It's not about making money for the Nevis Island administration, whichever administration is in office. It's about creating economic activity within the economy for people like you and the bars around here at Pinnis Beach, and the bars around Charleston, and the restaurants, and the hotels, and the guest houses. It's about putting monies in their pockets. It's like I like to use this phrase, Culturama is a stimulus package for the island of Nevis.
Yes, because when there is an influx of people coming in, the money circulates in the economy, and tax revenue, tax is collected and everything.
Yeah.
Basically, so it trickles back into the government's pocket. So it's a win-win overall. But you touched on a point of troops and Juve and all of that. Which Culturama you would say is the highest point? Which staging of Culturama was the highest point in your book?
I would say, was it 2017? Either 2017, probably 2018, because the village was refurbished in 2017, and then in 2018 we introduced the Wet Fete.
Yeah.
And then 2018 we introduced the bands from St. Kitts into the Juve.
Right.
And I think that from 2018, Culturama stepped up a notch.
Well, speaking of introducing the bands from St. Kitts now, we have seen a decline in the entertainment, in the Nevis entertainment over the years. Now, can you pick out a reason as to why that is so? Like, why has Nevis entertainment declined over the years?
Well, them are, over the years, we have seen a number of, let's look at the bands. We have seen a number of bands rise and fall in Nevis. We have seen the Ultrasonics, and there are a few other bands. Casanova at one time was...
Odyssey dropped, like they stopped and come again.
Yeah, Casanova was there, and then they fell. They are trying to make a comeback this year. Odyssey has had some high points over the years. Wildfire was one of the bands that was on the scene. They came, they went. Even our DJs, they have risen and they have fallen over the years. But I think that we now have a good crop of bands.
Not necessarily, not in my book. Like, there's like two. Well, I haven't heard anything new from Casanova, and the public. I think the public would agree that there isn't necessarily a buzz around Casanova. So I feel like they would manage to get a little buzz around Culturama, and then
Juve Morning, because they're the ones that started the long jam, and
wait,
so the older folks like me.
Wait, so you're making a declaration here that Casanova actually is the starters of the long jam? Because remember,
let me take you down memory lane.
Remember, you know, Corey.
Let me take you down memory lane.
Corey declared
in 1987.
No, wait. I want to get this point straight, you know. Let me take out my glasses so you hear good what I'm saying. There's a declaration that the credit for the long jam should be to the core. Now you're saying the credit for the long jam is to
the Casanova band. In 1987, I became a member of the Casanova band. In 1989, we decided we are going to take Casanova from Gingerland to Charlestown. We started in front of, and at that time, in 1989, my dad recently passed. So my dad was the owner of that shop that Clark now owns. Mm-hmm. And we started right in front of that shop, my dad's shop, at 5 o'clock in the morning. By 10 o'clock, we were passing the courthouse in Charlestown. And we had a mammoth crowd behind us. Yeah. Casanova fell off. Core came, and you know, they continued the legacy of the long jam. And I must give credit to them for keeping up the long jam. But Casanova must be credited for the long jam. Must be credited for the long jam.
Now, the rise of Casanova. Let's speak a little bit about that era of Juve Morning and Casanova. What rose you all to the top at that point in Culturama?
When we did the long jam, well, after the long jam, we became, you know, our popularity increased. Our popularity increased, and then the band continued. You know, we changed hands. A few years later, I was out of the band because I wanted to go and sing Calypso. Yeah. And so while I was a member of the band, I tried to tell the guys, look, I want to sing, so practice my song. And the guys were not taking me serious, so I left.
Oh, you were not a singer in the band?
I was not a singer, I was a keyboard player in the band.
Oh, okay.
And so I left. And then in 1991, I went to the band house. The guys didn't take me serious, they didn't practice. 1992, I went back and I said that I'm singing this year, and y'all are not going to dampen my spirit. And so I entered the competition in 1992. So I left the band. But to the credit of the band, I think that when they brought out that song, Bamboo. Big Bamboo, it really took the band places. I think the band, they went to England, I think that they went to France.
And you were not a part of it?
I was not a part of it then, because I told you.
So you didn't feel some kind of regret, like I jumped the gun?
Not really.
You must have felt some type of way, man.
You know,
to see
that the band going England, they go in Germany and them places.
And they have the biggest song,
and the biggest song, but I didn't feel a way. After a while,
man, Abba, man.
After a while,
you feel some type of way about that,
after a while,
because me feel some type of way for you.
After a while, after the band started to do records, I actually became affiliated with the band again because I used to record them at my recording studio. So I felt a part of the band again. But in terms of the travels, you know, I didn't really feel anyway, man.
Okay.
You see, throughout my life, I always wanted to try things and being a part of a band, singing calypso, and a few other things are things that I wanted to experiment with in you know, my journey through life. And so all of those things were just passing.
You have experienced it and you have it out your system.
Yeah, and so, you know,
I didn't feel anything. What led to the demise of Casanova band?
I really can't speak to that, I don't know, but for some reason the guys went separate ways. The guitarist went with somebody else. The drummer decided that he was going to stop rubber. I think that, you know, different interests. The keyboard man at that time, you know, went with some other band. I think he formed his own band, and you know, the band went into decline.
Right.
But like I said, you know, they are trying a thing again this year. They have out either 4 or 5 songs. I'm surprised that you have not heard them as yet, but
I have not.
They actually have out.
That's another criticism I'm getting. Like, the people are saying Culturama is not necessarily promoting these songs. So the likes of Tebulous song, to me, is the most popular song, the Heatwave song, and that's solely being pushed by him. People are saying they can looking at the Culturama page, there isn't even a sharing or a posting of the songs, the new songs of today. Because I'm doing different things for different people, and the Culturama promotions that they are doing, they would like to have songs like the current Culturama songs. But I keep having to go back to the X-Man and the Miko, you know. So what would you say about the promotion of the current crop of songs coming out?
Well, what I can say to you that we have Culturama Fever Radio on our website, www.culturamanews.com, and you could go under media and look for CFR Radio. That's the Culturama Fever Radio, and that is an online radio platform that plays Culturama music 24/7, right around the clock. And I've been listening to the radio station, and I've heard all of the new songs. I've heard the Casanova, I've heard Tebulous. And some persons just really need to tune into the Culturama Fever Radio to, you know, hear the latest releases. All of the Calypsonians who have released calypso songs, soca songs for this year, they are playing on the Culturama Fever Radio platform. But I must say this, that the onus is on the Calypsonians, the bands, the soca artists, to promote their songs. When you release a song, send it to all the DJs, send it to the whoever, the Woodies, the Zimba, the Smudge, the Purple, SG Presidential, New Level, right. You know, Bobby and Toby. Yeah. The onus is on them to get their music in the hands of the DJs, so that when the DJs go out to the different entertainment spots, that they play their music. And even them they go push a little $100 in the pocket and say, man, push me song.
Right.
These are things that you have to do.
Right. But another thing, the overall promotion of Culturama 50, some are saying it's lacking. Would you agree with that?
I would tend to agree with that. You know, we started off with some hype in January when we had that press conference, but we fell by the way. I must admit that we fell by the way.
But why though?
But we will be stepping up the promotion of Culturama 50 from June 1st. We are now finalizing promotional packages with our radio stations. We have stuff running on NTV. We have stuff running on NTV. And so, you know, we are going to be hearing a lot more about Culturama in the media. On our Facebook page, our Instagram page, we are going to be beefing up the promotion of the festival. Our contestants were launched a few weeks ago. We are now going to be moving to a sashing ceremony of those contestants, assigning them sponsors in the next couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks. And so things, once we come and get into the 1st of June, we are going to be hitting the pavement and running straight to the finishing line for Culturama 50.
Another issue, the homecoming. There's a lot of complaint coming to me that, hey, we have a beautiful beachfront and the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. Beautiful place. Why the homecoming is being done in Herbert's Beach?
The homecoming is not done in Herbert's Beach. The homecoming celebration for the Nevis Island Administration and the Culturama Committee will be done at the Heritage Village in Gingerland.
Okay. I love that clarification.
That is going to, as a matter of fact, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, John Hanley, called me this morning, and we have a meeting scheduled for Monday to continue our discussions on the homecoming day celebrations at the Heritage Village in Gingerland. And we wanted to take the homecoming there because, you know, the Malcolm Gishard Park is going to be used. Persons coming in are going to see, are going to experience that. But we want to take people out a different place and persons who have not been home for a long time. We want to take them out to Heritage Village and see what a lovely facility we have over there.
Right, so they would get a more wholesome experience of what Nevis have to offer.
So I want to reiterate the homecoming celebration for Culturama 50. The official homecoming celebration is going to be at the Heritage Village on July the 31st from 10 a.m. in the morning until 7 p.m. in the evening.
Now, another big criticism, and it's a personal criticism of mine. It's a gripe I have with Culturama for quite a while now. And Juve morning, why is it entertainment is being closed off in town and people are being forced to go to Herbert's Beach? Why at 12 o'clock for this big 50th anniversary of Culturama? Personally, I don't want to see Juve morning being done 12 o'clock. Even if the bands are being told to stop, why is there nothing in town to keep the people entertained for the remainder of the day?
Okay, good question, Dema, and that is something, I'm glad that you raised something like that, because I would like to speak to that. Now, Culturama is controlled. Let me use, I don't know if that is the best word to use, but Culturama operates under the Carnival Act, because there's no Culturama Act per se. And the Carnival Act stipulates that Juve must end, and let me emphasize, must end at 12 noon. So if you go to Sinkis for Carnival, Juve stops at 12 o'clock. It doesn't go beyond 12. And so because we are under the umbrella of the Carnival Act, Juve in Nevis ends at 12 noon. Now, to your specific point, yes, I agree that over the years, we have the entertainment in Charlestown has not continued, and that has been because of a lack of human resources in terms of the security forces. The security forces, we normally have to bring policemen from Sinkis, and when I say we, the Culturama Committee actually pay to have extra additional policemen coming from Sinkits for that weekend, and we have to contribute towards their stay on Nevis for that weekend. And so, you know, we can't bring all of the police from Sinkits. So we bring some, and the law enforcement officers in scheduling how the rotation of the policemen, there isn't enough police to police other activities that are occurring in other areas and still police the activities in Charlestown. But wait. And so this year, I have been told, and I'm not saying that, well, I don't want anybody to hold me to it, but we have been given the assurance that some regional security personnel are going to be coming in to assist the local security personnel or the police. And so this year, while the bands are going to stop in Charlestown jamming at 12 noon, the bandstands in Charlestown, we will be mounting 1 or 2 bandstands around Charlestown, and DJs and bands will continue to play in Charlestown up until 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow. Like, I love that, man. I love that. Another concern is people, a lot of times, a lot of Nevis doesn't work traditional jobs. So they work in different industries where they wouldn't, not everybody gets to see the parade happening. So some people finish working after the time that the parade would be concluded. Now, last lap would be finished by say 9 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. And we have met with the police, we have begged. I don't know what else we couldn't do. And they have said to us, last lap is going to end at 8 o'clock. We can't do anything about that. So what we will be doing this year is that last lap ends at downtown at 8 o'clock. We will be beefing up the entertainment in the cultural village. So the cultural village will kick off at 8 and would go down until 12 o'clock. Not going to go beyond 12 o'clock.
But that's another concern there. Because the vendors are balling. Them say they rent these boats for thousands of dollars for the season. And then the people who don't get to see the parade, they don't get much last lap. Now entertainment is closing off at 12. Why?
Again, that we are guided by the Carnival Act. That is what the Carnival Act says, that Culturama or whatever carnival ends, whatever the last day is, it ends at midnight. I lived in Trinidad, and Trinidad is the land of party. And once midnight hits on Carnival Tuesday, everything closes down. Everything closes down.
But on a normal night, the partying would continue until
3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because that is the Culturama season. But once Culturama comes to an end this year, on August the 6th, midnight, it's going to end.
Okay, so we have been promised new activities. Why? What is the hold up on these activities? Why?
Well, yeah, we brought up a first wave on January the 25th. I think February 24th we brought out a second wave, and we are now preparing to bring out a third wave. And what we have done is that we have brought out a core calendar with the activities that the Culturama Committee is organizing, and then we also have brought out a fringe activity list that the private promoters are organizing. Now, what we have realized is that some of the fringe promoters, they wrote to us. They want their activity on the calendar, and then 2-3 months after, they come back and say, "Boy, we're not having it again." And so we have had some challenges in terms of, and also there are some core activities for Culturama that we were planning that we have got to scale back on. We have got to tweak them a little bit, and so we are presently working on another lineup that should be coming out by the 1st of June. By the 1st of June, and what we'll be doing then, we'll be combining all of the activities under one calendar, so you don't have to look at fringe and see what's happening there and see if there's a clashing event on the core. We are going to put all of the activities now on one calendar and make life much easier for persons.
So is it that you're just putting all together, or you're adding the new ones?
Adding some new ones and taking out some old ones that were there that the organizers have said to us they're no longer doing. But there are some new activities that are coming out.
Can you give us an exclusive of at least one activity that has never been done for Culturama, but it's confirmed to be happening?
Well, one activity that like a kid zone. We have never had like it's something like a Coney Island, but it's not Coney Island. But someone, a local or local entities are going to be having a kid zone at the Villa grounds. I can't recall the name that they pollute. I can't recall the name. But that is going to be a new activity that is going to be geared towards the kids. So parents can, come out and have some good entertainment with their children. There's also a junior soca monarch contest, which we have never had as part of Culturama, because but the fringe promoter of that event is trying to get the kids in schools involved in soca. And so they're having a junior college.
I think it's Soca Empress event.
Soca Empress and a young lady from St. Kitts.
Her manager, I think. Yeah, I know of that event.
Her manager, you're correct.
I know of that event, man, because she would have spoken to me about it. But I like those new activities. So a kids zone, and that will be running throughout the season, or just for one 2 days?
For I think the last weekend of Culturama. When everybody is here, parents can bring their kids and drop them off if they want to come on the beach and party, to know that, and they would know that their kids are at that particular venue. They're gonna have caretakers looking after them and all that. Not that they're gonna be safe and all that. Yeah.
Right. So now, as it relates to Culturama, over the years, with the pageantry, and I think you would have told me at a point in time that you would have entered the Calypsonian competition and your crown was given to somebody else. That's a point of Culturama that keeps happening over and over and over again. Stolen crowns. In Culturama 50, is there something in place for us to have the right winners or the right contestants being crowned?
Them are, since I've come to Culturama, I have, and in recent years, I have put in place judging workshops, where persons who judge calypso or soca, pageantry, they are exposed to the key areas of judging a good calypso, judging a good soca, judging a beauty pageant. And so we expect that, once the judges put into practice what they are taught at these sessions, but with everybody, there's going to be a little bias. And what may appear good for you may not appear good for me.
But in recent...
Judging is subjective.
In recent years too, are there proper background checks being done on these contestants? Because we see in...
Contestants are the judges.
Contestants.
Yeah.
Listen to my point. We see in recent years, as recent as 2 years back, there was a queen crowned that was proven to be pregnant. And the whole controversy. Is there measures in place to prevent that happening again?
We can't invade our contestants' privacy like that. So what you're trying to tell me, that we must have them present a negative pregnancy test? We can't do that. We can't invade people's privacy like that. You think that we should? We can't do that. You want somebody to pull us under the big clock? You want somebody to do us like what Paul did us a couple of years ago? Pull us under the big clock, the day of the Calypso competition? You can't invade people's privacy, Come on, man,
No, but there has to be something in place to prevent these things happening again. You know what I mean? Because it personally was embarrassing to see somebody. And okay, the point of that is like, it's one thing for the person to be crowned, because maybe it was a throw-in at that point. But it reached to the point where that person was sent to represent St. Kitts Nevis with a big belly, obviously pregnant.
And let me stop you on that, The individual was not sent by the Culturama committee. The individual was not representing Nevis as the in the capacity as the Culturama committee or Miss Culture. She was not. Was not. We did not sponsor.
But she was still crowned at that point.
And it was a breach of the contract that she would have signed. It was a breach. Because once you are crowned Miss Culture, the contract clearly states that if you want to enter a particular competition, another competition, you have to first seek the permission of the Nevis Culturama Committee, and that was not done.
Okay, in recent years, there was an initiative of the bandstand. People them say them want back the bandstand.
Bandstand where? Where?
In different communities where there was a bandstand set up.
You last me that one. You're talking about the street jamming?
Yeah.
The village street jams?
Yeah, the village street jams.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The bandstand set up in the village.
Yeah.
The person told me they feel like the villages have been abandoned. There's nothing happening in the villages for culture.
And I want to refute that, because last year we had several Action Corner events spread across Nevis. I know that there was one at Jujaps, there was one at Big Six, then there were a few others elsewhere. So I would not say that is totally true. In terms of the village jams now, the village jams, when we used to jam through the villages, we used to go over to the castle and jam up Shaw's Road and back, or come into Gingerland, jam across by the police station, go up Rollins, come around, come down Market Shop. With increase in crime over the years.
Okay. Let me correct. The bandstand idea that the person was speaking of is basically the band set up in front of the Treasury building.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the type of bandstand
okay.
the person is asking about.
And we used to do that where the bands set up in front of the Treasury, what we call traditionally the Treasury apron, but is now the Nevis Tourism Authority building.
Right.
On a Saturday night or on a Friday night. But over the years we have decided to decentralize the festival and to take some of these events out of town and take them in the different villages. Hence the reason why we are moving around the Action Corner in different areas.
But still, even if the Action Corners are being moved around Nevis, on a Friday afternoon in the Culturama season, people want to see entertainment in town still.
In town.
It's alright to have things happening in the villages,
Yeah.
Because people will be in the villages, but there's still people who want something happening in town.
In Charlestown, there is not too many venues that we can set up a bandstand. Yes, we used to use the Nevis Tourism Authority building, or what we traditionally refer to as the Treasury apron, but you realize that the Sim and Donald bus is smack in the middle of the road there. There has been an increase in the number of vehicles. The last report we had from the police is that over 1,000 vehicles were registered in 2023. And for this year, there are a couple of hundreds already registered. And so to have that crowd congregating with the bus there on a Friday afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon. Well, Saturday afternoon is not too bad because there's hardly anyone in town. Would create some traffic nightmares.
But nonetheless, Abba, that's not an excuse.
We also used to do the. We also used to set up right there in the Diawalwen Plaza. But that area has now been designated as a bus terminal for the St. James's buses. So we can no longer use that area. So there, some of the areas in town that we traditionally used to use, we can't use them anymore.
Block off the street up there by Buddies.
Happy Hill
Drive. Block off this man.
Yeah.
We want something in town on a Friday afternoon for Culturama. We need that.
Well, next week Friday we're having Action Corner at the waterfront.
No, but I mean during the season of Culturama. Listen.
There's an idea that we're working on for Charlestown. during the Culturama.
During the Culturama, we can't have nothing happening.
We have not yet gotten permission for it, but once we get permission, we will be speaking about it. There's an initiative that we want to, that was once a part of Culturama, that created a buzz in Charlestown that we are working on. So keep your ears to the ground, them man.
School children gonna tell me what's going on.
Yes, school children gonna tell you what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, and next issue I have now, because I have a lot of issues, you know. I don't know if you realize, you know, the people talking plus school children talking. And the next issue is during Juve morning, town is dead and everybody is in the long jam because there isn't much happening in Charlestown during Juve morning. Now for Culturama 50, what's the solution to that? Or is there even a solution in place for that?
Culturama 50, and I can say that the core band is going to be coming from Beach Road. The Casanova band is going to be coming from Claygot. And I'm assuming that a number of persons are going to be going up to Gingerland. However, we have taken the decision to have bands in Charlestown. The Odyssey band is going to be roaming Charlestown, and the last information I got from the person in charge of street activities is that the Collision band, they are going to be roaming Charlestown, and I understand that there's a troupe that is coming over from St. Kitts. They have engaged the services of the Grandmasters band. The Culturama committee has not engaged the services of Grandmasters band, but a Juve troupe that is coming over from St. Kitts, they have engaged the Grandmasters band. And it is only this week that we had a meeting with the music director at the NCDF, and we will be having a steel band on the road on Juve morning from about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, roaming town to keep town jiggy until when the electronic bands hit the road. We are also going to have a bandstand on the Treasury Apron Juve morning.
I think you skip out one too, you know. There's a band coming from here.
Oh, yeah, there's a band coming from right here. The Malcolm Gishard Recreation Park, the Small Axe band with the Ilamas.
I don't really want you to call the band name and anything doing it.
Well, I apologize.
Apology accepted. But
okay, let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah, but so Juve morning looks lively in town.
On paper, for now, it looks lively.
Yeah.
We're just waiting and hope that everyone involved would execute the plan that is on paper.
Next issue. It's alleged that you've been kicked out of your seat as the head of Culturama. So let's conclude on that point. Are you being kicked out? Are you being forced out?
I've been serving Culturama for, as I told you initially, this is my 26th year.
26th year.
I've retired already. I'm back on a 1.5-year contract just to see the 50th anniversary through. And so once the 50th anniversary is over, that's it for me. I'm leaving. I've had 26 years of sleepless nights, headaches, lot of cussing, lot of pressure from people like you. I think it's time that I go and take a rest.
I mean, like you said that, you sound like you plan to die.
No, man, I'm going to just take a rest. I'm going to be on cruise ships traveling the world, on jet planes traveling the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to be moving around to all the festivals around the region.
With the young lady?
Yeah.
With the young lady?
With my wife.
A very young, beautiful wife.
I don't trust you, you know.
People, I feel like we have come to the end of this an amazing conversation with Mr. Abonaty Liburd. The man who refers
Abonaty, please. Not because I said Dema, don't say Antonio.
Yeah, because you refer to me as Dema. I don't really like people calling me that.
Well, that is what I know. I know you. I hear the girls and talking about Dema, Jackson.
You're the one call a full name. Anyways, Culturama 50. I'm imploring everybody If you're watching this in Jamaica, Antigua, Virgin Island, anywhere you're watching this from, come out to Culturama 50. We have amazing stuff happening here. But before we go, my beloved Wetfet, what information can you give me on that?
Well, oh yeah, that's something that we needed to touch on. Don't have too much details, but we know that in not the wet fet or the 5-in-1 fet.
Well, okay, to give a little backstory for those who don't know.
So the wet fet started in 2018 by Wazim Richards.
Right.
Yeah.
He was a part of the Culturama.
He was a part of the Culturama committee then, and then he branched off and created his own event, the 5-in-1 fet.
4-in-1.
It started as 4-in-1. You're correct, and then went to 5-in-1.
But the Culturama would have continued with their
we continued with our wet fet up until last year. And this year we did, since last year we recognized that the great issues for the Culturama wet fet dwindled.
Right.
Dwindled. And so we decided this year to do away with the wet fet and go to an international artist show. Kind of because, the Independence Freedom Concert was a major hit.
Right.
And so, we decided, let's give the people another international artist show.
Wait, on that, right? I want you to clarify, the international artist show will not be free.
No, it will not be a free show.
Yes,
no.
Because remember, you're making comparison to the Independence show.
Yeah.
That was a free show.
That was a free show.
But this one will not be free.
A few years ago, we had Free Flex,
right?
Which, we brought in Burning Flames and some other persons. And that was free, but the Culturama Emancipation Concert is not going to be a free show.
Right. Now continue.
And so, so Wazim did his 4-in-1 transition to 5-in-1. We this year decided that we are not doing the wet fet. We were giving preference to Wazim to do his 5-in-1, but unfortunately, because of personal family matters, Wazim has had to cancel his 5-in-1, and so there are several options on the table that we are considering. I want to let the fans know that
the fans know to that camera. Yes.
We're going to let the fans know that the wet fet or a wet fet will be a part of Culturama 50.
You get 2 applause the interview here. Wow. So unequivocally, there will be. There will be.
There are several private promoters that are already, they want to do it.
They're grabbing it from us.
And we also want to do it because we want to protect Wazim's legacy. We don't want somebody to come and say, well, boy, we do it this year and we want to continue. So it's a discussion that we are having.
So it will be happening around the similar date?
Same date.
The same date?
Same date.
Okay. So the wet fet will be on and Culturama 50 is on.
Culturama 50
is on. Before we're going, right? Can you give me one artist that's on the international night? At least one?
Bunjigali and Ferran. They will be on the international night.
Alright, so until next time, this has been an amazing episode of the Cultural Experience. Stay tuned, we have a lot to come. You'll be seeing me practicing or trying to learn a little masquerade because I might be joining one of those troops, You'll be seeing me interviewing the likes of Nico, an unappreciated legend. You'll see me interviewing a lot of people, capturing a lot of stuff, featuring like behind the scenes of some of the people behind the scenes who make Culturama possible. Lots of stuff to happen for the cultural experience. My name is Essential. This has been Perspectives Media's Cultural Experience. Until next time, Mr. Liburd.
Over and out.
What was I too harsh today?
You treated me well, and I want to thank you. When I see Mommy, I got to tell her that, she's training you well. After that controversial interview, I believe that Mommy sat you down and spoke to you. So, Mommy, if you're watching, thank you.
Until next time, people, this has been the Cultural Experience. We're out.